Why is it not working? Now I'm at problems. Hey! Don't forget about Tony! And don't forget about Jay. Go.
Jay.
Thank you once again for joining us for another edition of Issuenite. Talk about important, serious issues of the day. We talk about the latest news. We also try to inform and update you on what you need to know.
Hence the name Issuenite.
Don't forget, we are now on YouTube. We live stream, so if you have some type of live stream interaction, please join in. And don't forget also to subscribe. Like the subscribe.
Thumbs up. Subscribe.
And
share it with friends. Tell them Sundays we're going to watch it live. Tell them about Issuenite. It helps us get, the 3 cents that we get from this channel. Maybe we can get 4.
And how does somebody find, like someone my age, actually find how to log on and view it?
Right. So it's kind of like, Tony, when you throw a dart in the sky.
Yeah.
And then
There
hopefully not straight up.
A balloon floating by and you hit it.
And exactly. It's about that easy.
Or I can ask somebody under a certain age, right? You
can ask anybody 5 or less. And they'll tell you how to subscribe and how to. But you can really just go on YouTube and search Issuenite. Now it's ISSUENITE. Jay, why do we do that?
I wasn't paying attention.
Jay, Issuenite. It was back when David Letterman was on, and you're like, oh, we can't have late night with David, so we NITE, and it was Issuenite.
We had to. I think we were issued some cease and desist letter, so we had someone said, why don't you misspell it, and that's what we did.
That's what we did, so that's why we're Issuenite.
Yeah. Perfect.
So, okay, why don't we get on our first set of issues, and we like to call these book review. So occasionally on the show, we review children's books just to give you a better explanation of what you're reading out there. So I need to set this up. Sorry. Let's see. It's this one right here. So we are going to be reviewing the book today. It's called Rainbow Fish. It's by Marcus Pfister. Pfister. Exactly right. So let's just get right into this. There's a cover with the fish. Can I turn it? Yeah, I could do this. Yeah. Okay. So here we go. I'm just going to read.
I'm fix something.
Okay. All right. Mike's going to
fix something
a little bit wider.
A little bit.
What we're going to try to do is read this quick to you because we know your time is valuable. So,
no, it's not.
All right. Here we go. So it says, far out in the sea, there lived a fish. He was the most beautiful fish in the world, in the entire ocean. His scales shimmered with all the colors. I know colors got a U in there. Already there's a misspelling of the rainbow. So I don't know. Maybe this could be a kid book, like a fifth grader might have wrote it. Anyways, here's the thing. I'm looking at this. It says like his scales shimmered. His scales look like they're dying. Tony? What's going on here with this fish? Does this fish have a problem?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a doctor.
No.
But
are you a marine doctor?
I'm not a marine doctor or a fish doctor.
Were you in the Army?
But if I were, I'd say that the fish is like growing scaly things.
They're multicolored. Is it like toxic? Has he been drinking? Drinking the water of Lake Erie?
The gray ones look like stone material, so maybe that's like calcification. And the blue ones, I don't know. My grandkids have got those little blue things that you put in the bottom of fish tanks.
Smurfs.
Maybe pick those up.
Blueberries?
And then I can't see the other colors, so I'm not sure what that was from.
Is it because that light that's right in front of you, Tony?
All right.
Yes.
Really bright.
All right. So, Tony, it looks like this fish, maybe it dwells near the bottom. There's mercury in the bottom, right? I mean, is he picking up mercury poisoning in here? So
there's definitely a mercury color in there, for sure.
Okay. Tony, is there
Jay, don't drink the mercury.
Yeah, kids, I know mercury's fun. It rolls around in your hands and head. Don't swallow it, kids.
Public service announcement.
Yeah, look what's going on with this fish. This is a problem. So, Tony, is there precautions that this fish should be taking at this point in time? He's swimming around thinking he's the most beautiful thing, yet he has mercury poisoning going on. What needs to be done?
Well, certainly some sort of testing devices would be good for mercury. Like if he had a X-ray fluorescent analyzer, maybe you could test for metals and stuff. It's got a radioactive source in it, so you got to be careful. But that way he would know whether to eat the shiny stuff or not.
Hey, Jay, I'm just a little stuck on the one line. He's talking about he was the most beautiful fish in the entire ocean. Now, who is deciding that, Jay? Who decides that it's the most beautiful?
This
is
Marcus,
it myself?
this Marcus Pfister who thinks I don't know. Number one, he has no idea this fish is dying.
I mean, that fish is not that beautiful. I mean, it's not that beautiful. I mean, it is weird. I don't usually see multicolored scales.
You know, I see a red in there. One of our viewers said something about those rabies drops that got the iron in it. So I bet you that's the other color.
All right, so they're doing okay. So our viewers they've brought a good point. Like this is probably caused from those rabies drops. I mean, Erie County, if you're listening, this is what's going on. Take a look at this fish. I mean, this fish is not doing well right now because of rabies drops. So it ate one of those, and now it's going through problems. So
and Jay, I mean, you know, it talks about the colors of the rainbow. We are missing quite a few colors there of the rainbow. I mean, it says streams all the colors of rainbows. I don't see yellow there. I mean, his lips are yellow. I guess maybe. If
maybe
his lips are shimmering, his lipstick on. I don't
it
know.
probably had all the colors. People were like, "Hey, that's a rainbow fish." It's not a rainbow fish.
Yeah, at one point
So
it was rainbow, but then it started eating the mercury and the iron.
Yes, true.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jay, what about so the other fish liked his colorful scales and called him rainbow fish. Now, are you able to just call someone a name? Are you able to like Jay? If you looked, you know,
Well, they did that to
healthy, would I call you healthy boy? Healthy boy or healthy man? I mean, is that acceptable?
They did that to Rudolph, right? They called him names.
They did actually with Rudolph, Tony. I mean, come on. I mean, they called him names, and then when the guy was able to do something for everybody, then okay, everyone loved him. Then I mean, how ridiculous.
all right, so here's the problem. Okay, so these fish are mocking rainbow fish. They're calling him rainbow fish. Clearly, he looks sickly. He's lost scales. He's lost color.
Maybe he needs to do something, positive. Save, a different holiday, and then they'll like him.
Wait, why does he need to save a holiday? What?
Then they'll be happy.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I mean, it worked for Rudolph. I'm just saying.
All right, so let me just keep going. There's a little blue fish. It's tailing him. So is this fish now getting magnetized to it?
He's FBI, Jay.
Okay.
Oh.
So now there's surveillance on this fish because the fish all are like, we don't want to catch this, whatever, right? I mean, Tony, could the mercury be? Could that be? Could there be? You know what I mean?
Contagious?
Yes.
Well, I mean, what goes in could come out. So
That's usually the case.
yeah.
Jay, Jerry has a comment. Can you read that, Tony?
The system was adopted back in the Hoover administration after the great fish beauty disputes before the stock market crashed.
I remember that.
I don't understand that at all. But if it's
He's
the Hoover,
an accountant.
okay.
Doesn't
So
make
all
sense.
right, so that probably makes a lot of sense to a lot of people out there right now. So hopefully the system will get better. Okay, so let's see. It says now the fish, the surveillance is saying, "Can you give me one of those scales?" Is this a good idea?
Like a scale, like weighing yourself, Jay?
No.
How do fish weigh themselves on a scale? Because they float.
It's on a floating scale, Tony.
Floating scale. Okay. So the scale floats and the fish floats together.
And right, you have to actually weigh that, and then you've got to subtract the weight of the water.
Okay, so it's math.
It's math. Yeah.
Do some math. Okay, good.
Okay, so this fish wants a scale. The fish says no, and probably can't afford to lose any more. Now the fish is convinced he's beautiful. It says, "I'm so beautiful. Why doesn't anything like me?"
Where are we, Jay? You're going fast. What's going on?
I'm like, we don't have all day.
Come on,
Speed
dude.
reading.
People love
Holy
it.
cow.
People love this stuff, Jay. Jay, people love this stuff.
All right. All right. We have another comment. I saw rainbow fish at a school board meeting recently, which should explain the FBI tailed. So that makes sense. The FBI is now surveilling school
Yeah.
boards.
Oh, okay, so it was the fish all along.
Yeah. So
not
and
the
their
parents. Got
schools involved, right, Rob?
Yeah.
I mean, used to go fishing.
Bunch
Used
of
to raise
schools.
worms.
They
didn't
pretty
you?
much travel
that's
in schools.
And fish can be, you can't trust fish.
No.
Really?
Certain ones. I mean, look at this. Look at the book there. He's got
Okay.
two Look at those eyes.
Two creepy eyes here. So something's going on. I
Now
mean,
listen, the wise octopus, Jay. Okay, the wise octopus. Tell me about the wise octopus, Jay.
I don't know. According to this, it says it lives in the coral reef. That's a problem.
They're
And
being destroyed, Jay.
yeah, they're getting destroyed. So I don't know how true that is. According to everyone on the internet, there's no more coral reefs. So I don't know why this thing is. Could it be there? Tony, does an octopus even live on a coral reef? Could it even do that?
I wouldn't argue with an octopus if it wanted to live anywhere it wanted to. I mean, they got 8 legs. I mean, how are you going to overcome an octopus?
Okay, I mean, I don't think anyone's asking to fight it or battle it or anything like that.
I don't think we're talking about war, Tony, or anything like that.
Well, I'm
no
not going to
one's-
argue with it. I'm telling you.
Telling this is a show about
live
peace. It's
wherever
not
it
about
I
wants.
wouldn't,
so-
Tony.
Just
Yeah.
all right. Let's keep going.
Yeah, no, it's
so
good. Stick with it.
it says so the octopus is expecting the rainbow fish.
You know why, Jay?
Why?
Because he's been surveillance. Octopus is in on the surveillance.
Okay.
He's
All right.
doing the surveillance, or
Well,
he's
you know,
being
he's
surveilled.
part of the ringleader. He knows he's ordered the surveillance. He knows it's going on. I've been waiting for you. I know. I've been watching you. I knew you'd be here.
Okay. So all right.
Listen to my advice. Give every fish one of your glittering scales. Then you may not be the most beautiful fish in the ocean, but you'll be happy again. See, that's kind of a devil, man. He tries to lure you, tries to say, no, you're wrong. You've got to be doing this. Trust me, Jay.
Okay. I see. All right. And now it's asking to give more scales away. This fish is already losing scales.
Does he make scales? I mean, Tony,
Well, I
does he
think
make
I
them?
think he picked them up along the way, so they're
I
just
mean,
decorations.
But aren't they heavy?
Well, yeah. I mean, think of how fast he'd be able to swim without all that stuff.
I mean, all those scales. I mean,
Okay.
to weigh what?
Rob, are scales worth anything? Like, could you scrap scales? Could you, would they sell? Like, what would you do with that?
No, I would think if you get enough of them, you could make a pretty good buck.
Okay,
a garage
what is the rate of scales in the scrap market right now? I mean, what are we talking per metric ton, right? Or
Oh,
how does it
yeah.
work?
I mean, you probably get like maybe $200 per ton.
Per ton ton
Yeah.
of scales. Okay, so
So those are actually scales, like weighing scales on his body. That's what we're looking at. We're not going to get. They're actually scales that you weigh.
well, most scales are made out of metal, right?
Right.
So
Most are, Tony.
Yeah.
It's a couple plastic ones.
maybe if you sorted the metal, you get more.
all right, let's just keep going.
Keep going, Tom.
So suddenly the fish wants to give scales, and he says, "Oh, I'm sorry." The surveillance guy is back, and he asks for a scale, and Rainbow Fish pulls off a scale. And look at this. Now this fish,
Oh my gosh.
Tony, what are we looking at here? See, do you see my mouse? Does it come in? No, probably not. Tony, but there is like it's like missing part of itself.
Yeah, that
There's like
little
a circle.
thing.
Yeah, I can't see
can
around
zoom
the
it in.
corner, but I take your word
And
for
that
it.
seems like it should be. Who knows what's going to happen to this fish now? It's missing part of it. What kind of
kind of
disease is
life-
it going to
okay.
catch or
Yeah.
something?
Oh, it's like a big hole.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
There's a big hole.
It's like a white hole, not a black hole, but a
Now-
white
That's
hole.
opposite.
Could
Black.
this work to the fish's advantage? Could it store things in the
No.
hole? Could it rent the hole?
Yes.
For people,
Kind
and
of
then
like a fish pocket.
like a
pockets for
fish
fishes.
storage center.
Hot pocket.
I mean, what would you guys store there? Like, what could we store?
Well,
what?
it's wallet, a cell phone,
Wood.
Loose change,
Cabbage Patch Kid.
snails,
Play-Doh.
bolt nuts and bolts, tools,
Car.
All right, let's just
spare tire.
sick of this. Let's
Spare
just
scales.
keep going.
Harmonica.
So now people are now they're excited because he's giving away. And look at this picture. Look at this. How many did he get?
Are those bubbles?
No, that's parts of the
Ooh.
fish that are missing, and
Jay,
these other
Jay,
fish stole it.
Jay, before we get to this, can we just go back? See the prior page? Thank you very much. No, you're fine. Thank you very much, Burbled, the little blue fish. I have a problem with authors making up words. Burbled. I mean, what does burbled mean, Jay?
That's burble. That's 3
It's
syllables.
like a bubble.
That's
It's like bubble and gurgled. Burbled. I don't know. Sorry. I'll go back to that.
all right.
Sorry. Go.
Folks out there. If you know what this is, please English
Yeah.
major.
Look-
Maybe it's like
look that up.
underwater. It could be like underwater vocabulary.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
But
Maybe.
that sounds like good
It does.
deep sea kind of talk.
Deep sea fishing.
Okay. The more I read this, the more we're getting away from rainbows.
Yeah,
I
sorry.
thought we'd be talking about rainbows. We're not. And now the other fish have stolen. And again, I can't, but whatever. They've stolen parts of scales. Now this fish is missing about 30% of its body. And again, the advantage is more storage space, but less.
True.
This fish is going to die.
So he's got
pretty
these,
soon, right?
these. I mean, why are there dots outside of him? Like there's a hole outside of his body.
Yeah.
It's like his soul or something. I mean, well, how do you know? It's like, there's a bunch of dots on him. Then there's dots around.
Well, Mike, those are parts of it that have been pulled off, and it's just flesh floating down, kind of in a pathetic way where some other creature is probably just going to eat it and,
Just want to say, burnout boys, fish lives do matter, and so does matter, and I believe matter lives matter. MLM matters lives matter. Think about that.
Or just matters matter.
Doesn't matter.
I don't think to some fish their lives of their fellow fish because they just eat them. There's nothing.
Fish. It's kind of a fish eat fish world.
Yes. All right.
Okay.
All right. So
Hey, mighty amigos, Christian and Bridget's here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
That's the last time Rob's
Rob's kids.
been on live feed, right?
Yeah.
Rob's Garage.
Rob's garage.
Yeah.
Oh,
Been a
wow.
while.
Amigos. Yeah.
And Issue Night's been like 25 years.
Yeah.
Maybe
Last
more.
time you were on, yeah.
Okay. If you just joined us, you're watching Issuenite. We talk about important, serious issues of the day. And I'd like to get on to our next set of issues, which we like to call
What do we call these?
the Niagara Falls update.
Of course.
Niagara Falls, again, to try to get tourists to the American side because everyone seems to go to the Canadian side. There's better views there. There's their viewfinders caught their little eye things you look
still a
through.
dime.
They're a Canadian quarter, and that actually costs cheaper, right, Rob? How many quarters? How many Canadian quarters do you get for a quarter?
Talking to
I,
me.
I don't
American
think.
quarter.
I don't know. That sounds like a hard math question for me.
I don't think there's any actual metal in coins anymore, so
No.
probably not much
Good thing the animals. Good for the animals.
for the sake of the animals. Yeah.
So Niagara Falls is saying we need to attract these people back. It's just cheaper to look through the viewfinders and everything else. So we're gonna have a festival of fish. We're just gonna. What are we doing, Mike?
So Jay, they're gonna have a festival of fish, and basically what they're gonna do is they're gonna release millions of fish
Ooh.
in Lake Erie, right above the falls.
Okay. So right above the falls, I guess that's where Lake Erie is. It's just right there, big lake, right
Yeah.
above the falls.
In
And
the lake or in the river?
In the river,
Oh, okay.
right before about maybe 30
Like
feet
at the
before.
Peace Bridge. Oh,
Maybe even somewhere in there,
like
not
at
sure.
around near Goat Island, right,
Right,
before
Goat
that.
Island.
Okay.
And the idea here is to attract people to come and some people are fishing. Some people are taking nets and they're going to catch the fish as they're going over the falls.
Flying fish.
Yes,
basically.
exactly. I mean, and then the problem is, Jay. I mean, there's a bunch of issues here. I mean, it's the health activists, the animal activists, the what other activists, Jay?
The net activists.
The net activists, the all those activists basically are not happy. Like, for example, some of the fish are being they're like going into the intakes. Like the intakes, for like,
okay,
for a
so
water system.
if you don't know, at the bottom of the falls, there's these intakes, and they intake water, and that spins a
Yeah,
windmill, right, Tony? What does it do?
The intakes are at the top side.
Okay, the
The
top
bottom
side.
side are the outtakes.
The problem
Oh.
is the power now around the area is fluctuating. Like light bulbs are dimming because fish are clogging up
It's
the
true.
intakes.
Yeah.
Rob, and I mean, my question to you is, I mean, I know you fish. Would you fish for fish in clogged intakes?
In the clock. Well, hey, if it would help, this could be a win-win.
It could
I get
be.
myself a meal, and I can help people have power.
What's
Could be
the
a win-win.
limit?
Declogging. Yeah, you could have like a
Unclogging it,
declogging fish contest near the intakes.
What's the limit on fish? How many can you
Well, they're
catch
gonna,
in
they're gonna
clogged
raise that.
intakes?
They're going to raise the limit.
Yeah,
Okay.
for clogged intakes.
For clogged
probably
intakes,
a lot.
a lot.
I mean, you got to get rid of these out of there.
I think you have to be able to prove that you caught it as a anti-clogging device,
right.
right?
Yeah, you'd have
So
to prove it.
if you show up with a fish, it's got to show evidence of being in the intake, maybe.
Yeah, you got to see some mangled aspect of it.
But
All
you
right.
want to catch it before it goes through.
Right. I know we have
right.
kids in here. We don't want to.
So we're getting. Are these? We have a question. Are these Antifa fish because they're trying to sabotage the power there? So and they see that they see the fish instead of going down the falls, they're swimming around, and again they've eaten the rabies pill, so they're now slamming into the intakes.
True.
Right, Tony? Are they metal there?
Yeah. Well, that might make it easier to catch, though. I mean, instead of hooks, right? Rob could just use a piece of metal on the end of a line,
Yeah.
Yeah.
just
Well,
like you do with the kids.
The hooks
with
are metal, but it's not a metal to
You
magnetize.
could use like washers, maybe.
We could like big washing machines, Tony.
Washer. Yeah. I mean, that would attract a lot of fish. That'd get some big fish, some little
You
fish.
could put a lot of fish in a washer.
You
Yeah.
could. Would you put them in the washer, or would they attract
Inside,
it?
outside.
Well, once they swim in a washer, didn't you know that's how they're designed?
No.
When fish swim in,
Talking to
they-
Mike.
when fish swim in, they can't get out. That's
Oh,
how
it's
washer
kinda like
has
a
its
black
design.
hole
Okay.
washer.
yeah.
The guy across the street from me is circular.
We have
driveway.
one of
He
our
can't get
viewers,
out.
Jared Flannery, is saying he likes fish that don't get caught in the intakes. Well, good for you, Jerry, but that doesn't solve the problem. We need to unclog this because these Antifa fish are shutting down the power, and that's a problem.
Thanks. Burnout Boy says just use a stick of dynamite, which could work. I mean, if you're trying to kill the fish, but if you're trying to capture the fish,
But they're going to die anyways, right? Going through the turbines and stuff.
some of the fish will not go through the turbines. They'll end up in the bottom. The problem is when they've done this in the past, you just have like the fish look like water. They no longer is there waves. But
They
just
don't really
fish
think
bodies.
it through. There's just mounds of dead fish across there, and then people using it as an opportunity to cross over from one side to the other. But Tony, you can't do it. You need to go through customs, or are they going to set up customs down where people are crossing over dead fish?
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're going to do, but oddly enough, they're finding that the fish actually produce more power than the water. So now they're thinking maybe we should let
Oh, it's not
the
working.
fish go through the intakes
Right.
because
Mhm.
now we got more power. And they found to one of our listeners' points that the washers weren't working anyways because the low efficiency, there's just so little water in the washers
Yeah.
now that it wasn't working.
You've got to
for
use the high
fish.
efficiency
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so the other thing with Festival of Fish, they're releasing fish, and then what they're doing at night because they want to attract people at night. They're cracking glow sticks, and what they
Right.
want to do is shove the glow sticks
Yep.
into the fish.
Right.
Or wait, are the
They're
fish? They
doing
have
it-
the glow fish. What do they got to do, Mike?
They're putting them in the fish before they go over the falls to make it. You got the rainbow fish. And stuff.
Oh, different
Yeah.
color fish, rainbow fish, back to rainbow fish.
Right.
But in order to activate the glowing,
They have to crack the fish, so they eat it and crack it. But that doesn't.
Well, fish
it's
are
not
pretty
great for-
flexible, right?
True.
You could probably, as
You-
long as you
You
do
gotta
it the
kind of
right way.
If you wiggle it really quick, you might crack it.
Shake
And
'em.
yeah.
But Rob, you've handled fish. What kind of gloves do you need to wear? Like, you can't just use your bare hands and try to crack fish. I know you've cracked fish before. I mean,
Well, you
what do
have
you
to
use?
have really durable hands. So yeah,
like a
no,
sturgeon, Rob.
Yeah, you
What
get
would you
like
need for
10
a
millimeter
sturgeon?
thickness. A
Like,
sturgeon,
like 10 feet,
oh,
15
yeah,
feet
yeah,
long.
You'd lose an arm, one of those. But nice thick gloves, and be
But
really.
isn't there a way to do it, a technique that if you do it this way, then you don't get cut?
Yeah, and you want to be careful, what way you're angling the back bottom of the fish, because sometimes, you get stuff like, in your face,
Oh,
Okay,
Yeah,
so line
that's
of fire,
yeah.
and then is that stuff toxic that they're putting in that glow stuff? I mean, is that leftover nuclear waste or is that?
Well,
This-
Tone, they don't care because at least it's lighting up the fish. It's catching people's attention.
Right.
It's bringing people back to the American side, or it's at least taking the Canadians and they're moving across the side over more to the American.
So how do
coast.
they make sure the fish only stay on the American side and don't go over to the Canadian
customs. They all have little IDs and stuff.
side?
Yeah,
back
and
to the customs.
they
Okay.
not only IDs, they have to they have special customs agent that kind of round them and keep them. They're in boats and they got to keep them on the American side because if they cross over, now the Canadian government's like you owe us duty, right, Tony? If
Yeah,
they,
oh, yeah.
if they're doing something like that.
I
So
just want to say, Jerry was asking, how is this a festival, and how is it not a festival, Jerry? I mean, how is this not a festival? who wouldn't want to go see this? I mean, trust. Okay, let's say you're sitting at home. It's Friday, Saturday, and you know that they're going to release millions of fish into the Niagara Falls, and it's going to go over, and they're all have glow sticks in them. Wouldn't you go to that, and wouldn't you like have bands and stuff?
I didn't hear a word you said.
Okay,
I
good.
just read.
All right.
So
Also, want to say,
this-
what's that, Tom?
No, yeah, I was going to talk about a fish festival. What kind of music would we have? Would there be games? Would there be, rides?
I don't think there'd be rides, but
Well,
I mean, unless they're in the water. I mean, wouldn't you want to be, in the water with the fish? Maybe it was a ride in the water.
Like a
no.
barrel. Like a barrel.
Like
The
a
barrel
barrel.
ride.
Go over the barrel.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That,
I mean, there's
With the
waivers
fish.
in that, or maybe the ride is like they gotta try to cross the upper part of the falls before you get in the current and go
Right.
down.
So you can
that's
kind
part of the ride.
accompany the fish over the falls.
right.
With streams of light.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just want to say, Mary said, did you know you can tune a piano, but you can't tune a fish? And that's really true. You can tune a fish, actually. I've tried it. I have a piano tuner, and I've tried it on a fish, and it wasn't pretty.
Yeah, I was there, and yeah. So, if you just joined us, you're watching Issuenite. We're talking about important and
Night.
serious issues of the day. I want to get
Very
into our
important.
final set of issues, and this is the Jack issue. So specifically, we're talking about the Jack in the box. If I can put this up,
I don't
here,
know.
the
It's not. It
light
hasn't been
bulb
working. It keeps
in my
going.
way.
Like
I'll try it,
floor
Jay.
jack
It keeps going to the
or,
fish, Jay.
keeps going
I don't
to
know what you're
rainbow
doing. Keeps
fish,
going rainbow
so
fish.
I'll
Oh,
try
there you
to-
go.
Flat,
It works.
Flapjacks.
So if you've seen these before, I guess, guys, help me out. What do you do here? There's like some kind of creepy clown that may come. What does it do? You turn something. Rob, what do you do with this?
yeah, this kind of reminds me of like a horror movie. You see a kid playing with one of these things. They turn that lever on the right, and then the thing pops out.
So wait,
It freaks you out.
They turn the lever, and there's a horror movie that plays like that. Kids maybe should stay away from this, or get mom or dad.
Yeah.
Like they shouldn't be showing horror movies to kids. They shouldn't be.
Yeah, I think that in the back, I don't know if you could pull that back up. There's some writing. I think that's a warning.
Yeah,
A
but-
warning label.
I'm confused, Jay. So they're showing like a clown on a unicycle here,
Yeah.
excited, happy, but it's nothing like it, Jay. The thing, you wind the thing, you're all happy, you hear the music, just like the sorry, I scream like that.
But that's why there's a warning label.
That's
You
why
can
there's a
see it back there.
Okay.
But
Although,
he's done, Jay.
Yeah.
He's done with this. He wants to be out of this box. He's done playing this game, this charade. He wants to do what God intended him to do. I don't. What is that, Jay?
Well, it's a clown or a gesture. I think it's a jester. And
Is that his name?
Sure. And he's got some rainbow on him, so maybe
Jester
he
the
should
clown?
do what the rainbow fish fails to do. Hopefully, he doesn't get sick and lose his colors and things like that. So, but here's my thing. Let's look at this box again, Tony. I'm concerned about you. Is there a problem with claustrophobia there?
Well,
where's he going to sleep? Where's he
yeah.
going to cook his meals?
that not only claustrophobia, but he's in a confined space. I mean, look, there's one way in, one way out. It's through a trap door.
Yeah, and his body. They've sewed the lower half of his body to the circle area there.
Yeah, fully enter and exit. Yeah, he needs a permit. He needs a spotter. He needs all sorts of. He needs a retrieval system.
Okay, so he needs to have confined space for confined training,
Sure.
training space, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you have to do for that? How many hours is that, and how do you get certified? Where do you go?
Well, you don't get certified for that. It's got to be effective. You got to have somebody who's qualified and competent to oversee it. There's a lot that goes into that, Jay. You just don't walk up and, certify somebody. You don't come a piece of paper and let them go in there.
Okay, all right. So my thing is, okay, he's in this box. The other thing is there a fire alarm? Is there a fire extinguisher in
Jay,
there?
let's get things some clear here, Jay. Like
Okay.
the box isn't all that bad. Okay, you go inside. They got a big screen TV in there. I mean, he's got a lot of things he fits in there. He goes
But it
down
sounds
there.
like, according to Rob, they just watch horror movies. That's all he does. He watches horror movies. all
Yeah.
day.
That
But-
can't be healthy.
But
I
he's
mean,
got like a bike to work out. He's got a lot of things. Kitchen. He's
stationary
got.
bike.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, again, Buffalo Lifesavers has a good point. They said maybe there's a pandemic and he has to stay in there. Like he's doing, Tony, how many days do you got to stay in that box?
This is like 40 days, I think, right?
Is it 40 days? Like
40
if you have
days.
COVID though, don't you? Like what is it now though?
Oh,
You got-
COVID? It's like
yeah.
5 days in the mask or
Actually,
something.
can I say something, Jay?
What?
This actually was what they wanted. The government wanted to do. Instead of social distancing, they're going to put us all in Jack in the Boxes. This is
Okay.
the ultimate way to social distance. You stick
Yeah.
yourself in a box, and once in a while, you say hi, and then you're out, and then they push you back down. And
Okay.
That would have worked. I mean, if we were all in boxes and could only come out once every 40 days.
right.
All right. So
And the government's coming for you. They want to do this to you.
Okay. If and someone says they don't even think he has legs in there. I mean, could this just be a disabled? This is a what would we call them? A disabled jack? A disabled what? I mean, if
don't know.
and Tony, is there special access? Like if he's disabled, he's got a whole mess of
Well,
rights coming his
Emily
way, right?
said that she has a water slide in hers,
No.
but I don't know. That's special access. I don't know where it goes. Probably
Okay.
back in the.
All right. So 15 days, you have to stay in there. You have COVID. You're not getting out till someone winds that box. And I think, Tony, they put a padlock on it, right? So, in 15
Yeah,
days.
oh, for sure. Everybody gets their own lock. Nobody can take anybody else's lock off.
All right.
It's much safer that way.
Jake.
What?
Oh, you see, Jake has a comment, Tony.
Oh,
When you're in the box, are you subject to international law or maritime law?
Now, if you're going over the falls in a Jack in the Box, you would be subject if you went to the American side.
okay. But you're in the water. So is it maritime or when you cross Canada, is it international law? That's what
Well,
We're
trying
back to
figure
that
out.
again, aren't we? We're back to that, Jay.
Yeah.
I mean,
think
I went to 1,000 Ounce. I tried to fish like on the other side. They'll be all over you if you try to fish on the Canadian side. And like what I'm talking about, 1,000 Ounce.
Yeah,
you have hardly anything. You can
Yeah.
barely get off the shore, and you're in
You
Canada.
can't. Jimmy Younger and I, we had like our sailboat was disabled. We actually floated over to Canada there.
And they
so-
tried to shoot you, right?
No, they didn't really care.
Oh, okay.
So,
All right.
No, but okay. So all right. So the Jack in the Box, this guy just wants out. Can he get out? Someone's saying he might not have legs, but I'm wondering, is he stitched or stapled in there? What do you guys think? I mean,
Have you ever seen him out? I've never seen him
I've
out.
only seen him this far. Really, it's as far as I've seen him out.
well,
right here.
the thing is like most kids try to pull him out. They're like, we got to see if you have legs or something. Like and kids just sit there, and kids stop doing that. I mean, the guy's not asking. He's coming up. He's popping out for you. I mean, you have to pull him out and see if he has legs or not.
But you do have to push him back in when he's done.
Well, that's because he doesn't want to go in.
Right.
Would you? I mean,
No.
He spent all that time trying
I
to get
wouldn't.
out. And then if he wants to get out all the way, he'll do it on his own time.
Someone said that maybe they don't have legs. I would think though that he's popping up using his legs, unless that lever. I mean, does the lever actually connect to his body, or is it just like he hears a sound and then he jumps up when he hears a sound?
No,
I think it's that loud click. That would scare me. I'd jump.
It would,
Like,
yeah.
At least it's not like a Mexican jumping bean where,
True.
at least the top opens for him.
Yeah.
we're getting comments here, and I think people are getting to this point is that I think he might have had legs at one time, and as you turn it, it kind of, sorry kids, but kind of grinds them up down there, and pretty soon it's just mechanically pushing them up. There really are no more legs to do this. So
I heard that he's AI. I mean, I've heard that he's been, half of his body's the lower has AI. I don't know what that does for you. I mean, he doesn't talk.
So
and he only
he'd
goes
have
up.
legs like on the internet, but not in real life.
Something like that.
Okay.
Okay, so last question on this point is, does he have internet access in that box? And
Wireless only. I mean, you don't see a cable there, do you?
Well, and the problem is it's so intermittent. He's trying to watch whatever show or play his games, and
He's using up all his wind up. That's how he generates electricity, through the winding
and
motion.
that
and he
distorts
used it
this-
on the television. That's his own doing. He should save it for the internet power.
well, the problem is if you're just in that box, Tony, all you're going to do is watch TV. You're going to watch Netflix. You're going to get addicted.
like
you're gonna
old
binge
episodes of
watch.
Cheers.
Yeah,
But I think you need the kids to like visit once in a while and wind it up. Otherwise, it's gonna have nothing.
Couldn't
It's
they
going
put
to
a
be
window?
dormant. So
True.
So kids, if you have a Jack in the Box, don't neglect it for too long. Because otherwise it's just going to be stuck in there in limbo.
Yeah.
That's
Yep,
pretty sad.
well said. Yeah.
Very good.
Okay, we just again want to wrap up here. We want to thank everyone for watching. We want to tell people to
Please share. Let
subscribe.
people know that we're on Sundays live. Not every Sunday. Most Sundays we'll be releasing old shows and new shows. So don't get confused. We're gonna look young, and then we're gonna look really old.
All right, and don't forget to join us next time for another edition of Issuenite.
You do it.